Welcome to the Whiskey Vault.
I am Rex.
Vault. I'm Daniel. A super nice guy.
And Grundle enthusiast.
Today the Whiskey Gulp goes Canadian, sort of.
Did you say whiskey gulp?
Yeah, I think I said Whiskey Gulp.
What's a gulp?
I don't know. Because I was thinking legacy
Sounds vaguely
and
dirty.
Whiskey Vault, and it mixed up.
Tell me more about your gulp.
Today,
I'm still
at
caught
least I'm
up.
not talking about the Grundle.
I'm still talking about the gulp. Which, it's a close cousin to the Grundle.
Yeah.
It's the gulp.
It's on the other side.
What was the name of that?
Like if you're going that direction, it goes Grundle, and then
What was-
Gulp. This is from Adam O'Gara.
Adam O'Gara, you magnificent bastard.
So why do I say this is sort of Canadian whiskey, even though it says on the side, blended Canadian whiskey?
By the way, the whole, I've been trying for weeks, months, decades even, just to have some kind of a semblance of organization and order for the things. Daniel has been on autopilot mode. His
For so
brain,
long.
it is not happening. So just ignore that. Forget about that. Just as
Yeah.
long as I get a whiskey poured within the first 90 seconds.
All right. Well, that's
We're already too late.
All right. Why is this called Canadian whiskey? Even though it's actually made by Brown Forman. Not made, it's blended by Brown Forman.
So Brown Forman's American company, obviously.
I mean, sorry, I said Brown Forman. I meant Buffalo Trace. Man, I'm just all over the map today. Where is my brain?
Got distracted by the gulp.
Yeah. Okay. Buffalo Trace is what I meant to say. It's a Sazerac. Wow, this is really like bright alcohol notes, like nail polish remover kind of alcohol notes.
But with the buttery caramel.
Yeah.
Buttery caramel and that bright sweetness. You get a lot of the alcohol.
You know what it's reminding me of is when you get those air fresheners that say like wooded pine trees and evergreen, and you spray them in the bathroom, So you get this aerosol mixed with fake evergreen trees.
So like a version of caramel and the wood, and not like just a really organic, deep, rich kind of note.
No, it's bright and shiny. It's like when you spray the air freshener and then you accidentally inhale it while it's still filtering down in the air, and you're like, oh, that was really sharp. Let's try some though. Wow, that's way smoother than the nose would have led you to guess.
That's much more of a buttery apple.
Going on the nose alone,
It's very different.
you thought this would taste harsh, or sharp and aggressive.
Mm-hmm. What's the proof
It's
there?
all smooth and it's 40.
Yeah, okay. It tastes 40. It didn't smell.
But
40.
here's the thing: I can't believe it smells this aggressive and lively.
Not incredibly complex.
This is kind of melony to me.
Melon?
Like what's the note? There's the orange melon, and then there's the green melon.
Honeydew and cantaloupe.
Honeydew.
Okay.
It's more like a honeydew. That slight sweet melon.
I can get behind that.
Now, here's the thing about Canadian whiskey. So Drew Mayville, the master blender,
I'm trying to find.
they're sourcing 3-year-old Canadian whiskey, and then they're blending it to bottle this.
Okay.
Right? Now,
You know what?
this is what makes Canadian whiskey weird.
Okay.
You know, we have mash bills. Hey, this Four Roses is 62% corn and 18% rye,
Sure.
and whatever.
It's like the ingredients list.
Canada mostly doesn't do that.
How do you know what's in it?
They distill each grain separately. They mill it, ferment it, distill it, and then after it's distilled, they blend the liquids
put it
together.
together.
And
Huh.
sometimes they even age them separately and then blend them together.
Is that unique to Canada? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now, again, that's not all Canada, because one of Canada's favorite things to do is not have consistent application of things. Now, legally they do, right? But anything you're like, Canada is this, you can immediately find like 4 exceptions.
Right.
Right? And then you're like, well, and then it's like I before E, except after C, and not on Sundays, and not with this guy, and not with that one. I wonder if that contributes to this feeling of flat blends that I tend to get in a lot of the budget lines of Canadian whiskeys.
Should we compare this to a nice Canadian whiskey? A nice Canadian whiskey.
Like one that apologizes all the time. Says
It's very
A.
polite. It's very polite.
Yeah, it's super polite.
So what about the J.P. Weiser's dissertation?
Well, it's not fair.
That
is not fair.
I'm saying to give people a frame of reference.
No, most people are never going to get to try J.P. Weiser's dissertation because it's super rare and expensive. And it's maybe the best Canadian whiskey I've ever tasted.
So this is how the conversation goes. And then I say, well, what other Canadian do we have that's nice that people can get? And then you say, oh, damn Canadians, they don't send us the good stuff. So let's just fast forward to the point where we're doing J.P. Weiser's. There's a cheap J.P. Weiser, the deluxe or something?
No, you know what one that's a budget line that I actually dig?
Yeah.
40 Creek.
Okay.
I actually like 40 Creek. It's pretty easy to get it.
I'll be the judge of whether or not it's actually a good whiskey, because I get to make that decision.
For science.
For science.
And screw top.
Oh, well.
Because nothing says fancy like screw top.
Bits of Grundle. And you know what the best part is? We don't have to bleep out Grundle.
Yeah, because there's probably a lot of people who don't know what that means.
No. On the nose, I like the 40 Creek better. That's actually much simpler. It's just a sweet thing.
Yeah, this is a copper pot still, though.
It's not an incredibly complex animal, but the legacy is a little bit more interesting. The butter and the apple.
I see what you mean, but that's because this is sherry barrel finished.
Okay.
And so it's got a sweeter tinge to it. Well, I still prefer the 40 Creek to the legacy.
While you get on the same page with the winning team.
This reminds me of a comparison between Speyside and Irish. Bright Irish whiskey, slightly sweetened.
Charlie G. Haig.
This is a long story time.
One of
kids.
the patron saints.
Settle in.
I do so love how you make me read stories via comments.
You're gonna like this one.
That's twisted. That's messed up. That's messed up.
Hey, it's the patron saint. You gotta read the patron saint.
I'll do it for
story.
Charlie. A few weeks ago, my girlfriend and I were invited to an engagement party for one of her co-workers. Having met him a few times and knew he is a Scotch fan, so I picked up a bottle of Talisker Distiller Edition as a gift.
Good one.
Party was at his house, and upon arrival, I see he has quite an impressive whiskey collection. Engage, mooching. No, he didn't.
Yeah.
Among them was his crown jewel, a bottle of Macallan M.
Whoa!
Later in the night, he walks over, thanks me for my gift, and we start talking about whiskey. I mentioned I was surprised to see that he has a Macallan M, and he proceeded to rave about how delicious it was, that he saved up for over a year to buy it. Upon hearing this, I realized how precious it was to him, and that I also really wanted to drink some. I know that's your baby and all, but give it to me now.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be so bold as to offer money for a pour, especially at his engagement party, nor act like an excited schoolboy giddy at the chance to try it. Instead, I decided to lie and tell him I've had a few glasses before. But wasn't all that impressed. So you went the douche path.
Engage mooch mode.
Yeah. Set goose setting to 11. I even sold it with the earthy autumn tasting notes you guys gave.
Yeah, he used our video to give it credibility.
Mooch tasting notes. After hearing that and being convinced I must have already been in the club of those who have already tried Macallan M, he gave me a generous pour.
Oh!
Because he was positive some variable must have affected my tasting.
Yeah, no, you got it wrong. No, I'm gonna pour it for you to show you how wrong you were.
After a few sips, I told him it was better than I remembered, but still not quite worth it. Maybe I need a bit more night.
Yeah.
He poured a second glass. Oh my gosh. Fully content with my mooching at this point, I finally agreed that it was indeed as good as he said.
Well, at least you gave in the end.
It's like, not bad. Keep trying.
I told you you'd like the story.
Yes, I shared the rest of my second glass with my girlfriend and called it a night soon after. On the way home, my shed asked how I don't know what shed is, asked how I managed to mooch not one but two glasses.
Oh, it was just fun.
But not one but two glasses. I simply looked at her, pointed at my chest, and replied, "Whiskey Saint."
Whiskey Saint.
The powers. Powers. All the other patron saints are like, "Wait, I have powers?"
Yeah.
I need to go to engagement party.
Oh, you may not have gotten your certification in the mail yet. The powers don't kick in until the mail certification arrives.
One more. Nick Neher. Hey, Daniel and Rex, my son Logan James was born on March 25th. You are really throwing these in here now, aren't you?
I'm trying to be less of a asshole.
Yeah, we'll see. I wonder if you guys could toast for him some Highland Park 18. Yes, we can. And we will. Because Daniel's not an he's a generous, giving, caring individual who makes an amazing target.
Yeah. Oh! What do you think about the mix of the 40 Creek and the Legacy?
It's a sweet whiskey and with a sweet whiskey. it actually does get a little bit, they marry nicely. It gets one doesn't overpower the other, so what you get from the 40 Creek, you still get it. And
So
what
it's
you
still bright, but still...
Yeah, and what you get from the
slightly
Legacy,
sweeter.
the buttery and the apple, you still get that.
Well, maybe it
Yeah,
makes it
well.
better. So 2 budget, blend them, call it good.
To the newborn
Logan
child.
James, is that what it was?
Yes.
Here's to fighting, stealing, drinking.
You fight, may fight for a friend.
If you steal, may you steal a lover's heart.
And if you drink,
May you drink with us.
Hey, thanks for hanging out with us in the Whiskey Vault. Don't forget to throw in a like, hit that subscribe button on the bottom right, drop a question or comment down below.